facts in general. It's freeform radio at its finest. Hear what you rarely hear anywhere else here on Radio Free Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. every Saturday on KSJE.
Next time on Philosophy Talk, is postmodernism really to blame for post-truth?
Yeah, postmodernism made it respectable to deny sensible ideas, like truth and fact.
No, it didn't. It just said when you think about those ideas, you also have to think about power.
Yeah, but that's what led to today's alternative facts and fake news.
Oh, don't blame postmodernism for that.
Postmodernism and post-truth, next time on Philosophy Talk.
Listen to Philosophy Talk every Tuesday at noon on KSJE 90.9 FM, Farmington. (8:53). It is Monday morning here on KSJE, and it's time for our Monday Reboot segment. That's when I get to talk technology with Lewis Campbell, who is with Synergy Computer Systems here in Farmington, and Lewis is joining us live this morning. Lewis, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Thank you for being with us, and let's talk about some of the things that have been in the news. Of course, the Russian military invasion of Ukraine has been all over the news, of course, since late last week. But the one thing that I thought was really interesting, because you know, a lot of ways folks get information these days is through the internet, on social media, and things along that line. There are efforts to interrupt and disrupt internet lines and things along that line. And so one of the government officials, I think, in Ukraine reached out to our favorite, one of our favorite topics here, Elon Musk, to say, hey, you know, while you're trying to get Mars settled, why don't you help us out a little bit? And sure enough, he did. You saw that article?
Yeah, that's a really polite diplomatic way of putting the tweet that went out from Ukraine to Elon Musk. But basically, yeah, you're really good at going to Mars. How about helping us out? But Elon Musk apparently listened. So, you know, Starlink is the system of low-position orbiting satellites known as LPOS that, you know, about 350 of them that, you know, Elon Musk has designed, the company SpaceX has designed and put in orbit specifically for providing internet, which is different from regular, like HughesNet and the other satellite internet providers that run off of, you know, single satellites or pairs of satellites that were really designed for broadcast television and radio and things like that. And so it provides a pretty good, superior internet service as satellites go. And so Elon Musk has said that they've activated that for the Ukraine now to be able to provide internet service for the Ukraine that would be a lot harder, basically, for the Russians to shut down.
Right. And so, and it was pretty quick, right? And I don't know what's all involved. They had to actually kind of reorient some of the satellites in order to get Ukraine service or things along that line. But the fact that they could do it fairly quickly was pretty amazing, and it's pretty fast-speed internet. I mean, that's the whole point. It's this high-speed connection, right? So being able to beam it down into that country and have folks be able to connect to it and use it is kind of what I guess folks were hoping, to just get the information out in case the ground sources were disrupted, or the landline sources were disrupted, correct?
Yeah, and for those of you who remember, I mean, we've followed this pretty closely because it has ramifications for our area here. You know, Starlink was actually designed for rural internet. You know, it's designed for internet all over the place, but really specifically for rural internet coverage. It's designed to fill that gap that the regular internet providers really haven't been able to fill, of serving places like the Navajo Nation and, you know, rural Farmington and, you know, San Juan County and, you know, all over the country and the world, to be able to put high-speed internet there without having to run, you know, tons of fiber optic or copper cable all over the place.
Right, right. So fascinating, I think. And if you're trying to control that information pipeline, it just kind of complicates things, because you no longer maybe have a switch. We've talked about the Great Firewall of China, and they're able to maybe you know, shut access to sites off and on, and Russia doesn't have that, at least as impressive of a firewall like China does, and so they are kind of more open, if you will, than China in allowing different websites and access to websites than certainly you would be if you're trying to use the internet in the People's Republic of China. So what else is going on? We just have a couple minutes remaining this morning, but I don't want to take it all up with this topic, even though I think it's really interesting. But what have you noticed the last 7 days or so?
Well, everything's about the Ukraine, but something non-Ukraine related that's kind of interesting is Apple's filed a patent for a new computer. They call it a computer inside an input device, which basically kind of goes, people are excited about this because it looks like it's going back to the old like Commodore 64, Radio Shack TRS-80 days where you had like the big fat keyboard that was a computer, right? Like everything was in the keyboard.
Right.
So Apple's filed a patent for something like that. So people are speculating that Apple may at some point be coming out with, a Commodore 64 style computer in the future. That's kind of interesting.
Right.
The more things change, the more they stay the same, right?
Exactly. Very, very interesting. Well, that's something to watch for, and you never know what they're going to come up with next, I suppose. So, very good. Well, Louis, thank you for joining me this week. Always appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Have a great week.
All right, you too. That is Louis Campbell. He is, of course, with Synergy Computer Systems, my guest every Monday at this time when we talk technology news right here on KSJE, Farmington, New Mexico.
80.9 FM, Farmington.
Travel is one of life's great rewards, and there's always something new to see and experience when you travel the world like I do. Hi, I'm Rick Steves. Join me as we get better acquainted with the world each week on Travel with Rick Steves. Together, we'll explore fascinating sights, discover amazing food, and make new friends from near and far. Your radio is the only passport you'll need. Join us for Travel with Rick Steves, Saturday afternoons at 1 on